Hello everybody and welcome to another edition of Peteman Reviews. Today we have the Generation 1 Decepticon Skywarp. This is the commemorative edition release as shown by the oversized missiles here. These are actually the null rays rather than the cannons, as the cannons just look ridiculous with a teeny cannon bit on the end and a massive long stem. The null ray version look more like a long gun, so they kind of work a bit better, and personally I leave the actual cannons just in the box as they look stupid. In terms of colour scheme, I do feel that Skywarp is one of the best colour scheme seekers out there. The black on the gold, the black on the purple really work well, particularly as his entire colour scheme is basically the Decepticon badge, the black, the purple, with the chrome. It looks really, really good. Other than that, the actual basic design of Skywarp is identical to all the other Seekers, particularly all the other original Seekers as well. So there's not too much to say about the plane mode, other than the plane mode is really very good. All the Seekers, the first wave and the second wave, are exceptionally good plane mode. The sacrifice is the robot mode, which is less convincing. In terms of transformation, they're quite simple, as is common with a number of G1 toys, particularly the Seekers. They are quite a simplistic transformation. You do have a bit of kibble left over, namely his hands, so these are the kind of things that get lost, particularly with the landing gear as well. So in terms of transformation wise, you begin by flipping up the tail rotors like that, or the tail blades like that, and then the wheels flip out there to form the feet. And you're almost there. There's not a huge amount more to go, but we'll go through it. Skywarp is perhaps a little bit looser with some of the pieces and some of the other Seekers, so if bits fall off, don't worry about it. At least I won't worry about it, so you shouldn't either. So we take the wings up like that, so now you've got the Decepticon symbol like that. Take off the landing gear. Now I'm going to store the landing gear in the cockpit. This is where a little mount would normally go, but it's the ideal size for the landing gear, and otherwise, let's face it, it's going to get lost. So there we go. Just want to bend this bit forward so that there's a joint there. This flips up and around like so. These will form the arms of your robot. Okay, so there's another joint just below the cockpit here. So you bend that like that, and then you put the nose cone through first, so the cockpit now becomes the chest of the robot. And then finally, because he's not a cone head, he's one of the originals, his cockpit bends, the nose bends back like that. Finally the arms, the hands, so again remember what side the fist is, so this is obviously his right hand which goes there. And that will just snap into place, and then obviously the left hand goes there. And then the guns finally, you see there's a peg here and there's a hole here, and they just slot into position. And there we are, Skywarp in robot mode. As you can see, the null rays are still extremely large here, but they don't look too stupid. They do actually still retain the firing mode like that. Now that's obviously been weakened somewhat from the original release, so it doesn't go shooting across, but it is enough to fire the null rays. That said, why you would ever want to fire the null rays, I don't know. And equally, the cannons that you give, they're actually cannons which fire bullets rather than missiles, so it's a little bit odd that you've got a launch pad anyway for it. In terms of robot mode, Skywarp looks extremely good. The black, the chrome, the purple really come together in this mode with some of the stickers as well. Otherwise, as with all Seekers, he's very lacking in posability. He can waggle his arms a little bit, but the wings do get in the way, so there's a little bit of movement there, such as that. You can go down a bit, but the wings do get a little bit in the way. So he does have some manoeuvrability. Also, because of the way the wings are, and the rest of him, it makes quite a bulky looking robot. This is perfectly straight like that. It's alright, I say it looks pretty good, but in terms of actual robots it's perhaps a little bit unconvincing, which is fairly common with the G1 Wave 1 and Wave 2, is that the alt mode is brilliant, robot mode is where the sacrifice is made. In terms of size, we compare him with G1 Jazz, who came out at the same time, and then Astra Train, who came out a little bit later. It has to say, of the two, you'd have to say that Jazz and Skywarp are superior to Astra Train, particularly in terms of robot mode. Obviously, Astra Train is the triple changer element to consider. But Skywarp compares very well to both of them. You know, he's a big compared to them. Weaponry looks good. Colour scheme is excellent. I know if you were looking at those three, I'd have to say the best robot there is Jazz, and the best alt mode. It might be Jazz again, actually. As good as Skywarp's Seeker mode is, Jazz's Portion mode is perhaps slightly better. Astra Train does have some good elements to him, but he's not as good as Jazz or Skywarp. So in terms of your Seekers, there's no reason not to get Skywarp. He's no real different in terms of his transformability or his posability to the other Seekers you can get, including the Coneheads from the second wave. But you'll want to get him to complete your set. He looks good on the shelf, particularly if you put him in jet mode. But the robot mode looks good. It's just a little bit unconvincing as a robot, but if you can accept that and say, well, you've got all the other 5 Seekers to make 6 in total all lined up, they'll all look very similar, with just difference to the colour schemes, and Skywarp really does stand out with his. So thank you very much for watching. Please do leave the comments below, click more videos, why not subscribe as well, and we'll see you on the next episode. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.